This is about to go down. And if it actually happens, it could change everything for the Ravens. Think about it. We already have Derrick Henry, an absolute tank running the ball, and Lamar Jackson, who turns broken plays into highlight reels. Now imagine throwing Travis Etienne into that mix. A guy who might be the lightning bolt that turns his offense into something totally unstoppable. And this isn't just some rumor floating around online. Big-time analysts are already linking the Ravens as the most likely team to make a move for him. If this trade goes through, man, every defense in the NFL is going to be saying prayers before facing Baltimore. It wouldn't just take pressure off Henry from having to do everything himself. It'd also give Lamar one more toy to play with. And you know what that means. Our dream of finally seeing the Lombardi Trophy land in Baltimore just gets a whole lot closer. So stick with me, because I'm going to break down exactly why Etienne could be the perfect piece for this offense, how this will completely mess with defenses, and what might happen if the Ravens actually open up the checkbook to make this trade. Trust me, you're going to want to hear every detail, because what's about to happen could be exactly what we've all been waiting for. All right, check this out. The Ravens are being talked about as a team ready to take the next big step and pull off a massive trade for Travis Etienne, the explosive running back from the Jaguars. And I'm not just talking about some internet hype. Analysts are already putting Baltimore at the top of the list if this deal goes down. And it wouldn't be some cheap move either. We're talking about a player carrying over $12 million on his contract. That's the kind of investment you make when you're serious about chasing a trophy. So why is everyone buzzing about it? Because Etienne is that type of player who can flip a game on its head in an instant. Sure, he hasn't exactly lit up the way folks hoped in Jacksonville, but the talent is undeniable. Sometimes all a player needs is a fresh start to unlock everything. Picture Etienne rolling into Baltimore, rocking that purple, fire up to prove he's way more than what we've seen so far. And it's not just about the hype of adding a new name. This Ravens offense is already a nightmare with Lamar and Henry. Now imagine throwing Etienne into that stew, a running back who can not only pound the rock, but also catch passes and explode through gaps. Defenses would be losing their minds trying to guess who's getting the ball. But here's where it gets even juicier. The current backfield isn't quite as rock solid as it looks. And that's exactly why this rumor is heating up, which takes us straight into what we got to talk about next. Let's be real for a second. When you look at the Ravens roster and see Derrick Henry there, bulldozing everyone in his path, it's easy to think, we're good, nobody's stopping this offense. But the real concern is what comes after him. Justice Hill and Keaton Mitchell, they're solid players. They got speed, they bring a spark, but they just can't seem to stay healthy. And a team with legit championship hopes can't keep rolling the dice on guys who live on the injury report. Think about how brutal an NFL season is. 17 regular season games, then hopefully playoffs, plus all the wear and tear that comes with it. You can't expect Henry to carry the ball 30 times a game without a reliable sidekick, because if he gets hurt or is gassed when it matters most, that Super Bowl dream can vanish in one bad hit. That's exactly why adding Etienne makes so much sense. He wouldn't be brought in to be the main guy, but to change the pace, keep defenses guessing, and step up if Henry ever needs a breather. There wouldn't be some massive drop-off. The offense would still be fast, dangerous, and completely unpredictable. And here's the kicker. Etienne isn't just some straight-line runner. He can catch passes with the best of them, which takes us to a way more exciting possibility for Lamar's offense. Have you really stopped to think about how much deadlier Lamar Jackson could be with Travis Etienne by his side? Etienne isn't your typical back who just takes the handoff and barrels ahead. He slips out of the backfield, runs routes, catches passes, and suddenly turns a little check down into a 20 or 30-yard gain. That's the kind of skill that keeps defensive coordinators up at night. And yeah, Lamar's already a nightmare for defenses. His legs alone give them headaches. But imagine defenders now having to decide, are they going to stack the box to stop Henry, spy Lamar to keep him from taking off, or cover Etienne leaking out for a pass? They can't cover everything. And when defenses start getting split like that, that's when the big, game-breaking plays happen. Plus, Etienne could be Lamar's ultimate safety valve. You know those moments when the pocket collapses and the QB needs to get rid of the ball fast? Instead of just tossing away, Lamar could dump it off to Etienne, who's got the wiggle and power to break tackles and keep the drive alive. That takes pressure off Lamar, keeps him healthier, and keeps the chains moving. And there's something else kind of fascinating here, because Etienne's numbers in Jacksonville haven't exactly blown people away, which actually sets up the perfect chance for a breakout somewhere new. And that's exactly what we need to dig into next.
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.
Look, not every player explodes right out of the gate in the NFL. Travis Etienne was a first-round pick, came in with big expectations, but so far he hasn't fully lived up to the hype. Last season, he ran for just over 550 yards and scored only 2 touchdowns. That doesn't sound like much for a guy with his talent. But then you remember how many players really shine when they find the right fit. Sometimes it's about the system, the blocking, or even the locker room vibe. With the Ravens, he'd have Lamar and Henry demanding all the attention from defenses, which would make things way easier for him. Less focus on stopping Etienne means more room for him to show what he can really do. And that's not just good news for him. It's huge for Baltimore. Put a guy hungry to prove himself on a team already built to win, and that's a recipe for magic. Motivated players are dangerous players, especially when they got talent all around to open up lanes. Now, put all that together and think about the playoff impact. If the Ravens pull the trigger on this, they could be building the most explosive offense in the league. And that's when things get serious for anyone dreaming of lifting the Lombardi Trophy. At the end of the day, all this talk about bringing in Etienne isn't just because he's fast or because it'll look good to add another star to the roster. It's because this kind of upgrade might be exactly what turns the Ravens into an unbeatable team in January. We all know playoff games aren't easy, and any extra weapon can make all the difference. Just picture it. You're in a divisional round or a conference final, and there's Derrick Henry wearing down the defense, Lamar Jackson confusing everyone, and Etienne slicing through linebackers and safeties. Who can stop that? Defenses will be scrambling, trying to guess what's coming next. That's how championships are won, by forcing mistakes, exploiting mismatches, and attacking every little opening. Plus, it shows the Ravens are all in on winning right now. This isn't some long-term project 3 years down the road. They know they've got a special roster, an MVP leading the offense, and they need to strike while the iron's hot, before windows close, contracts end, or players age. So the big question is, do the Ravens have the guts to pull the trigger and make this trade? If they do, the whole league better watch out. At the end of the day, Flock, the thought of Travis Etienne in purple alongside Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson is enough to get your heart racing. It's not just because his name shines or it'd be nice to add another star. It's because this could be exactly what turns this offense into a total nightmare for defenses and puts us squarely on the path to the Super Bowl. Think about it. Henry wearing down defenders, Lamar driving everyone crazy, and Etienne ready to explode on any play. That kind of combo breaks game plans and keeps defensive coordinators up at night. And if the Ravens really have the guts to invest and pull the trigger, the entire NFL needs to brace for something totally different coming out of Baltimore. Now I want to hear what you're thinking, Flock. Do you think the Ravens should go all in for Etienne and build this nearly unstoppable offense? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk it out and see what the vibe is around our flock for this potential super team.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself. See you there, and until the next video, go Flock.